Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another game of Super Rugby Pacific. This one, there's a bit more feeling in it. Crusaders versus Waratahs. Of course, a couple years ago, the Waratahs pulling off that massive upset win over the Saders. A pretty new-looking Crusaders team here compared to what we saw last year when they were able to take out the Super Rugby Pacific title. But looking through at the starting lineup, first of all, for the Crusaders, they are going to be as follows: George Bower at number 1, George Bell at number 2, and Fletcher Null slotting in as the tight head prop. The big man Scott Barrett at 4. He's going to need a big role and a big matchup here, because if he can enforce that physicality, that is something that already we have heard that the Waratahs are looking to bring to this game. They also want to start this match quick. Scott Barrett in the breakdown will be crucial. Quinton Strange at number 5. He is the second of the Crusaders locks. Dom Gardner at 6, Tom Christie 7, and Cullen Grace as the number 8. Noah Hotham and also Taha Kamara, a very young 9-10 combination for the Crusaders here, but they are looking to keep that pace rolling over early, up the tempo, try and match the Waratahs, who have got Jake Gordon and Tane Edmund, so it could be a very intriguing battle there. Levi Moore in the midfield alongside the returning David Harvili at number 12. Macca Springer, Sevu Reese, and Shea Fiaki going to be the back three. Looking through at the Waratahs starting lineup, it is Angus Bell, also there Mahi Vailanu and Harry Johnson-Holmes. Jed Holloway, they were talking to him before the game. He is the one who most recently said, if you want to know what the first 20 minutes of this game is going to be like, it's going to be quick. And that's what the Waratahs want to do. They want to try and run the Crusaders off their feet. Not many sides have been successful in doing so, although last week, of course, Crusaders suffering the defeat to the Chiefs. Hugh Sinclair at number 5, Fergus Lee Warner at 6 with Charlie Gamble and Langy Gleeson closing out the loose forward trio. Jake Gordon and Tane Edmund, like I mentioned, with Joey Walton and Harry Wilson there in the midfield. And then Dylan Peach, Mark Nawanganitawasi, and also Jorgensen at number 15. But these two sides just making their way out of the tunnel now. Sup, says Amelia, welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Hi all. And Hamish says Robert. And Yo says Padza Blaze. But this one, I have a feeling this could be extremely intriguing. Definitely in the forward packs. Scrum time, Angus Bell versus Fletcher Null. Harry Johnson-Holmes versus George Bower. And the benches of these two sides, we get to see quite a bit of experience coming late for the Crusaders with Ryan Crotty, Mitchell Drummond, Owen Franks, and Joe Moody, all just to name a few, who will be making their way off the bench. Whereas for the Waratahs, they've got Ned Hannigan. They've also got a few other young players in Tui Palotu as well as Riley, who are coming off the bench later on in the game. And MLK was at the first game, but left because my brother, he was getting tired, says Try Time Down Under. And of course, that first game taking place between Moana Pacifica and the Fijian drawer was a last-minute thriller. The Moana Pacifica getting themselves just over the victory line. So that means that the table, the Blues are sitting at the top of the bunch. They are the only team as of yet to be winning 2 games from 2. Now, neither the Crusaders or the Waratahs can change that. But tomorrow, the Reds versus Hurricanes, one of those two sides will continue to be undefeated, and the same with the match between the the Chiefs and also the Brumbies. But the Western Force and the Tars, the only two sides in the competition to yet receive a point. The Waratahs want to change that here, want to be within 7, and in fact, they want to be ahead by more than 7. If it's an option out there at AAMI Park, there is no theoretical home side, although I would say that the Waratahs would consider this just a little bit more of a home game, even with the amount of support in the stands for this Crusaders side. But we are very close to the kickoff of this contest, ladies and gents. If you are new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. They are showing Jake Gordon. They are showing Tane Edmund, two men who were on the field in that historic victory for the Tars up against the Crusaders not too long ago. But Brendan Pickerel will be the referee in charge of this one. And it is now kicked off by the Waratahs deep into the Crusaders 22, where Sevu Reese does get the ball straight away. Hotham back across now for Kamara. Going in behind Levi Moore. Quick hands from the Crusaders, starting off very well with Macca Springer kicking that ball down the field. I'm about to sneeze again, so one moment. We will quickly mute ourselves. We are good. But the kick has gone into touch from the Waratahs. Of course, they were inside of their 22, so are able to kick that ball directly into touch from Jorgensen. Now line out throw for the Crusaders and George Bell. Just on the halfway line. It is thrown in nicely, taken by Scott Barrett. Looks like they're going for that rolling maul early here, the Crusaders, but right through the middle is Jed Holloway. Trying to cause a nuisance. Trying to get his hands on the ball. Hotham has been told to use it. We'll go off to the short side. Nice Salada dummy there. Back across Bell, high all. Says Marco Vunipola, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. I think that's going to almost, yes, it is going to be the penalty. Scott Barrett, I think he may have held him in there, Hugh Sinclair. Referee didn't spot it though, and Tom Christie, ball on the outside. The Crusaders going down the wing. And the first try of the match goes to Macca Springer. It's taken 90 seconds, and how many times in the Super Rugby Pacific competition so far have we seen a side score within the first 2 minutes? This time, the Crusaders add their name to that list. But going off to the left-hand side, just nice quick hands. Tom Christie had open space. Crusaders were already playing under penalty advantage, so could pretty much throw caution to the wind. And we see Macca Springer across the try line early. One of the younger players on the field for the Crusaders, and there are a few youngsters out there on the park, but already the Satyrs strike. Waratahs will be disappointed. But the benefit is we did see them score quite a few nice tries up against the Reds last week. They have still got, I'm sure, plenty left in them. They wanted a quick start. And not Harry Wilson, Jed Holloway. He was asked how to explain the first 20 minutes of the game. The answer were quick, and that one is missed. Unfortunately for, I believe it was Taha Kamara, going with a very young combination at 9-10 for the Crusaders. I think they've said it's actually the youngest or third youngest combo that the Crusaders have ever had. Macca Springer wouldn't be much older than those two. Off long now for the Waratahs. Nicely taken by Cullen Grace inside of the Crusaders 22. Of course, slowly trying to build his way back towards All Blacks contention after many injuries have slowed down that man's progress. Nice step from Che Fiaki. Trying to break through him. Nwanganitawasi pulls him down in the tackle. Hotham cross to George Bauer. Shot on him by Vailanu. Thought about going for the turnover in the breakdown. Doesn't end up getting it in the end. Now Hotham will roll it back for the box kick. Oh, he's knocked that on though, Noah Hotham. He said that he never let it go. He's disappointed about it, but he did push it down onto the leg of the player in front of him. He looked in utter shock, Noah Hotham. I think we're going to see a replay here. Yes, it just loses control, and because it was on the calf of Scott Barrett, I believe that then becomes, I don't know, does that become the equivalent of accidental offside, I guess, in that case? And then Noah Hotham went to Hamilton Boys High. His dad is the first 15 coach, and his dad sent him down to the Crusaders. Not very Waikato of him, says Marco Vunipola. Yeah, he's a very talented young player, Noah Hotham. Of course, that knock-on didn't show it, but he is. There's a lot of young nines coming out of New Zealand at the moment. Xavier Rowe, another one that comes to mind. Cam Roigard, of course, recently getting that chance for the All Blacks. Jake Gordon now flat ball to Hugh Sinclair. Driven down by Tom Christie. And a dominant tackle on the 22 at the moment for the Waratahs. Another penalty advantage. This time it is going against the Crusaders. So they just go in and grab that ball to stop it from coming out. Tars could take the 3 if they want it here. Hello everyone in Hamish. Says Roof, welcome in. Now they are going to go for the post here with Tane Edmund. So that is the much better option. And Crusaders to run 2 through the Tars. Says Ruth. Scott Barrett disappointed with that one, but the reason that it was a penalty was because one of his other players were still in the breakdown. And ahoy, mate. Hope Crusaders play well today after heartbreaking Chiefs loss, says Jonathan Manson. Yeah, they will definitely want to try and fire back A decent performance here up against the Waratahs, though. They're a bit of a tricky side to predict. The Tars are running to get some snacks. Be back soon, says Ruth. Hello, Ruth. Hope you're well. Here's a Marco there as well. Now, Tane Edmund line up the first kick of the day for the Waratahs, and it is going to just sneak in the right-hand post. So that's going to make the score now 5-3 between these two teams. After that last win for the Waratahs over the Crusaders, he was almost speechless. See how much it meant to him. But this game, they have to make sure they keep the pressure on the Crusaders. They can't afford to let the Satyrs dominate in that possession stat. It'll be kicked up high by Noah Hotham. Nicely taken by Joey Walton. Hits the ball up hard. Still just outside of the 22, ball available for Jake Gordon. Looks like he's going to be lining up the hands of Fergus Lee Warner. And this time there's a knock on from the Waratahs. Just outside of their 22. So we'll put the Crusaders in a great position to try and go for their first set play of the day. Hello, Marco. Awesome commentary. Thanks. Hope your side okay, says Ruth. Like they've just said, you go through all the hard work of getting that ball. You cannot afford to just give it up straight away. And thanks, Marco. See you all in a little while. Hamish's shirt rocks our world, says Ruth. And there as well. Our scrum feed for the Crusaders. Charlie Gamble, the big man with the big mustache, on the side of the scrum. Hey, says Lord Rapture. Welcome in. Oh, little bit of an early push there from the Crusaders. I think that was against Fletcher Null. Overleaning is going to be the free kick. In fact, they're going to give it to George Bell. Because of that, it means that the Waratahs will be able to clear their lines. It won't be able to go out on the full. Tane Edmund here will look to get as many metres on it as he can. And boom, let's go Crusaders. Massive boot there from Tane Edmund, but fantastic take from Sever Reese just inside of the All Blacks 22. Sorry, the Crusaders 22. Of course, Sever Reese missing that most recent All Blacks campaign due to injury. Wants to work his way back up there. George Bauer making a good tackle on the halfway line. Now Tane Edmund trying to cut his way through the defence. Hamish, you look like a mafia boss in that shirt. Need a lit cigar in your mouth and some aviator shades. All the ladies will be at your door, says Marco. It's a good kick from Joey Walton. Oh, he's gone out. Unfortunately, the other youngster, Taha Kamara, wasn't able to keep that ball in the field of play for the Satyrs, so it is a 50-22 equivalent. I'll be honest, I thought the shirt was going to get absolutely demolished on the live stream. Last time I had a shirt similar to this, there were a lot of comparisons made. And howdy, brother, what a thrilling ending the last game was. Hey, how was your cricket game today, bro? Oh, it was as bad as I anticipated. We were playing on a batting pitch that was not ideal, but still saying that, like, I was run out, so unfortunately I didn't get to bat for very long on it. Now Jake Gordon passes back across, getting close to the try line there with the big man, Fergus Lee Warner, that the penalty goes the way of the Waratahs again. It'll be 5 metres out from the line, not rolling away from Tom Christie. This would be another easy 3 if they want it here, the Waratahs. And hey, mate, thanks for doing this. Says 74 Red. No worries at all. We are going to be back for the 2 games tomorrow as well. First of which between the Chiefs and the Brumbies. Second game will be the Hurricanes taking on the Reds. We've also got sevens all throughout the near future, as well as they're tapping and going. I was going to say as well as the URC at 4 a.m. tonight. Now Jake Gordon sells the dummy. Didn't quite know who he was supposed to be passing to, but Langy Gleeson does receive it. Tom Gardner was looking for that turnover. Didn't quite get it for himself, though. Now Jake Gordon goes out to Vailanu. Rush defence from Levi Moore has hit Joey Walton hard. Fergus Lee Warner gets that a little bit closer again. Vailanu tackled by Cullen Grace, who stops him in his tracks. Now again, off to the left-hand side here for the Waratahs. Another wide cut-out pass, Jed Holloway. This is just slow but stable here from the Waratahs. Just as I say that, Edmund almost drops the ball. Crusaders up already with all my Crusaders superstars. Says Ruth, they may not be up for long. 10 metres out from the line, the Waratahs still on attack after 9 straight phases. Angus Bell moves up to 5 out. Joey Walton inside ball, another penalty advantage against the Crusaders here. Pressure on in the breakdown, and they will go back for another penalty. Hamish at 100k subscribers, you should smoke a cigar, says Luke there. 10 minutes into this contest, offside for the Crusaders. So this is about 2 or 3 in a row inside of their 22 that they have given away. This time they will go for the post here, the Waratahs, and this would actually give them the lead at this stage of the contest. Be back in 15 minutes, says Ruth, so we will see a little bit later on. Looks like a bit of an injury here for Harry Johnson-Holmes. Hopefully he is going to be all right to continue. Just looking here, not seeing whereabouts the injury did actually happen. It wasn't in that breakdown anyway. Yes. Stayed down for a bit. Come on, Kiwis, beat these Aussies, please, says Josh. And Emmet gets that kick over. Now 12 minutes in, it is going to be a lead for the Waratahs. 6 points to 5 over the Crusaders. A great start to the match. And plus that Crusaders discipline, if it keeps on having little mistakes, could end up seeing maybe a bit more of a lead coming for the Waratahs and perhaps even a yellow card coming for the Crusaders. Now it's going to be Kamara. This one off high. Not quite taken cleanly there by the Waratahs. That time it was Jed Holloway. Referee was just about to give the knock on, and now he has, I think, a scrum here for Crusaders, says Jonathan. It certainly is. Jed Holloway, he was definitely the first man to get their hands on the ball, getting lifted into the air. Langy Gleeson's just asked for slightly louder calls in the scrum from the referee, just so that he can hear them at the back with his headgear on. Currently 12 and a half minutes down in this contest already. It is certainly flying by. It's not the end of Super Rugby action this weekend. We are going to get to see a matchup taking place between the Chiefs and Brumbies. It's at 4 p.m. New Zealand time tomorrow. We are excited to see those two sides go head to head, as I think a lot of people are, to be fair. Now that's gone down front row. Going to be now another reset here for the Crusaders. And come on, Waratahs, shove that Waratah up the Saders' dookie cavity. That's a new way of wording it. Now just showing Kamara and Levi Amua just having a little bit of a conversation. I feel like Levi Amua, he's the type of player, though, that can just charge straight towards the opposition. Bust through, maybe find the offload as well. It was brilliant for Moana Pacifica last year. It was almost a shame they did get taken away from them, definitely because of the talent that they look like they've got this year. That's gone down the front row again, and this time it is a Crusaders penalty. Now they've got a decision to make. Do they want to be leading by 2, or do they want to go for the corner? I think they'll go for the corner here. The Crusaders' mentality is score as many tries as you can, try and get as many bonus points as on offer. Now, last week they got the losing bonus point, and now 15 metres out from the TARS line. Assistant referee did give the call there. A line-out throw is stolen by the Waratahs. Charlie Gamble, it sits up for him. He takes heavy contact 10 metres out for the line. That Levi Moore's been everywhere. Chiefs, Blues, Moana, now the Saders. Says Marco, yeah, he's been in a lot of teams, that is for sure. But every team that he's gone to, he's actually done pretty well, I think. So now hopefully for the Crusaders, he will be able to step up just like he did for Moana Pacifica. Line out throw for George Bell. Nicely claimed there. Dragged down was Dom Gardner. Now Levi Moore. Go the Wars, says Pop Sedits. Cullen Grace Goes in behind to Kamara now, linking up with Jay Fiaki. Sidestepping around the defence. He's holding me, says Joey Walton. And to be fair, he had a really good argument for it. Noah Hotham trying to be an annoying halfback, trying to milk the penalty. Must have learnt that from Mitch Drummond. Now Hotham again, going to David Havili. This will be his first carry since returning for the Crusaders. Colin Grace charges straight, tackled by Angus Bell. Now nice quick hands there from the Crusaders going off to this left-hand side. Noah Hotham goes to Levi Amua. He decides to cut in by himself. Didn't look for the offload. Joey Walton loses his footing. Now Scott Barrett, nice inside ball to Fletcher Newell. Tries to get up and go again. Advantage for in the side from Harry Johnson. Holmes Chase Fiaki for a Crusader try tonight, brother, says Barrett. He may not be too far off it. Crusaders shifting this one out wide. Now Kamara shut down, and they will go back, and it's going to be a yellow card for Harry Johnson Holmes. He's come in through the side. They've called it as an illegal infringement, and it's a pretty quick yellow. Simply because I don't think it really changed the momentum for the Crusaders. They were still attacking. It's more the case of Harry Johnson Holmes coming in through the side. They're going to take the scrum now, which means that they will have to lose someone out of their back row. That is very strategic. There we go. He's gone in through the side. Maybe slowed down the ruck by half a second. If it was lucky, we got a new channel member as well. Rodney, thank you very much. That in that membership button, mate. Hugely appreciated. And up the Tars, says Marco there as well. 9.5 minutes now going to be remaining of the yellow card, which means that we do get to see a change being made in the Waratahs front row. Sounds like they're going to take Fergus Lee Warner off. Yep, he is the player who has to make way because of that yellow. Don't really want to be playing against the Crusaders with 14 men. That's normally when they really decide to put the foot down. We've seen them score 3 tries throughout a 10-minute period before with a side at a disadvantage. I would say they'll aim for nothing less than 2, though, for this one. And Noah Hotham does feed that ball in. Big push from the Crusaders. They've got the penalty advantage. It's popped up off the back. There'll be another penalty for the Crusaders. I believe that they'll go to the scrum again. It did look dominant the first time. Yep, they're going with the scrum. I think George Bell just trying to tell the referee about what he thought there should have been a penalty for. Brendan Pickerel said that's exactly what the penalty was for. And ended up illegally wheeling from the Waratahs. And Crusaders have been slightly off form, usual style tonight so far, but should pick it up. There's Jonathan. And that's the thing, the Crusaders, the last couple years, correct me if I'm wrong, but they haven't started the season that well, but then they always end up getting far and then eventually going on to win it. So, I don't think they'll mind a little bit of rough form early as long as they can find their form as the season continues. Nice run from Kamara. Gets the 2 meters out. Back across. Quick hands from Shafiaki. And Severis scores the first of the yellow card tries for the Crusaders. And they'll now take the lead back. Help Dylan Peach back to his feet. Okay there. Good morning / evening all. See you, Splish, and welcome in, mate. The URC taking place in the middle of the night tonight. In about, I believe it is 6 hours' time, we are going to be covering the matchup taking place between the Bulls and the Stormers. Will be a part of our 24 hours, or actually no, our 33 hours or so of being awake straight. But it will be fun. Severis putting it down just in the field of play. It was a decent effort from Dylan Beach. Almost got that foot of Sevu into touch, and Yahoo the Satyrs says Lord Rapture. There come on the Waratahs. Let's prong the Satyrs. I realise what you're saying there, Johnny. And another tough conversion angle. Says Jonathan, yeah, this one won't be an easy one for the youngster Taha Kamara. And this time he has missed it by a good 5 metres or so out to the side. So that will be remaining as now the score 10 points to 6 after the first 20 minutes. I mean, these missed conversions, they will start to add up. The Crusaders could be ahead by 8 points at the moment had they all gone over. They're just going to have to score an extra try along the way. Harry Johnson-Holmes still going to be off the field for another 6.5 minutes. He'll be extremely frustrated with giving away that penalty. Really shouldn't have done what he did. Be kicked off by the Waratahs. Tane Edmund puts it into the Crusaders 22. Give Havili the kicking tee, says Stephen Marks. I mean, it could be an option. Although I'm not sure whether or not Havili wants to do the kicking. Definitely after he's just come back from... To be fair, he's just tried to kick. It's been charged down, and the Waratahs have just scored a try off a David Havili kick. So maybe they won't give him that, but that is going to be the try for the Waratahs. Havili just took that a little bit too long to put the boot downfield. They're going to check this one just to make sure that it is all right, and I believe it is. David Glass shoulders Havili, and Dole says Lord Rapture. Yeah, just kicks it straight into Hugh Sinclair, who chases it hard, forces the ball down. They just said the easiest way to get a charge down is if the fly half goes one more pass across. Oh geez, tell you what, Hugh Sinclair almost got KO'd by Charlie Gamble as he went charging in. It's his third of his career, Hugh Sinclair, and they will now take the lead back once more, and it's a nice easy kick for the youngster Tane Edmund. It has gone over. Now 13 points to 10. Waratahs answering straight back. That's what they needed to do. The Crusaders started getting that momentum flowing. That was when the trouble was going to start arising. Havili charge down kick. Hugh Sinclair does score the try, but it's kicked off now by the Crusaders. We're in a similar position to what we were down the other end of the field. This time Max Jorgensen's kick is not charged down. Coach Killer says Stephen Marks. It certainly is. When you've done all the hard work to just score the try and then you go and concede one at the other end pretty much instantly, it does really annoy the coach, I can tell you that. Now line out throw for the Crusaders. Nicely taken by Cullen Grace. Look at there, this has been a McCarthy. It's been ages. Welcome in, mate. Keeping well. Yeah, it's been at least a good few months, I believe, since we have seen you in the chat. Or trying to strip that ball. I don't think they would have actually been allowed to there in that case for Jed Holloway, seeing as the knee was down of the Crusaders player. David Havili, big fend on Charlie Gamble. Now moves into the Waratahs half. Hotham, Levi Moore now. Slowly making meters here, the Crusaders. They won't be panicking too much, just looking to shift it through their hands. Keep the ball alive, although the Tars get over the ball and they win the penalty. No clean out coming for the Crusaders. I think Quinton Strange had 2 men in front of him. He wasn't able to shift either of them. I put my shoulder in one of my games and then I dislocated my ankle. That is a tough day at the office for you, Finnan. Good there, highly rate some of the Tars boys. Angus Bell, Langy Gleeson, Mark Nawanganitawasi. I don't know how to say that name. And Lockie Swinton. Of course, Lockie Swinton, he is not actually going to be playing for this game. So instead, they've got Charlie Gamble, who is just, I think he's a real workhorse as well. The Waratahs passing it back across to Angus Bell. Just fends off George Bauer. Finds the offload to Gleeson, but he has knocked it on this time. Apologises to his teammates as he was almost through the gap. Still hit by 3 though. Now Waratahs in front, they certainly are after 24 minutes. Still in favour of the Waratahs. But Angus Bell just sits down George Bauer. Langy Gleeson doesn't quite take the catch cleanly. 2 minutes remaining of that Waratahs yellow card of Harry Johnson Holmes. Not a mile off, getting to make his way back out onto the field. For anyone wondering about what we have got coming up as well, we've got the 2 games tomorrow of Super Rugby, Brumbies versus Chiefs, as well as the Hurricanes versus the Reds. We are also doing the 4 a.m. game of the URC taking place between the Bulls and the Stormers. And then we have got the 7s all throughout tomorrow, which will include us staying up for a very, very long time, covering the matchup between, first of all, Fiji versus Canada. Joe Schmidt, the Wallabies head coach, he is in a box watching this game. We did see Scott Robinson also at the game yesterday. I'd assume that he will be there for this match as well. I'm actually surprised the Waratahs are beating the Crusaders. Says Finnan. Yeah, although they're a tough side. They came in as $8 underdogs, which I believe would have drastically changed now. Like this. So currently, the Waratahs are still $5.75 underdogs. Good kick downfield from the Crusaders. They managed to win themselves that free kick at scrum time. And still early in the game. Says Novmum. What team do you support? Says Finnan. I'm pretty impartial overall for Super Rugby. Little grubber in my eye from Vailanu. Almost got that into the hands of Jake Gordon. But the Crusaders have taken this ball back now on their own 22. Noah Otham, a lot of pressure coming into the breakdown from Jed Holloway. Scott Barrett has to hit this one up. And the penalty goes the way of the Waratahs. They've got 16 seconds remaining of the yellow card, so I think they'll go for the 3 points here, as they will then be back to 15 men on the field. And, hang on, they're going for the line out by the sounds of it. How long's the yellow card got? They just want to get confirmation that Harry Johnson Holmes would be on the field if they did kick for the corner. Yes, he is back. So that now means, you know what? Because he's back, they'll go for the corner. And that is a very smart play from the Waratahs. They are now 5 metres out from the line. But of course, it only gets smarter if they get themselves the try here. I've just talked about the fact that the discipline of the Crusaders hasn't been great. You keep saying impartial, Hamish. That's lies. You're a full-on status fan, winning every damn time. I own more Chiefs and Hurricanes kits than I do Crusaders kits. Fun fact. Now Fergus Lee Warner claims that one since just making his way back out onto the field, going towards the touchline there for the Waratahs. Joey Walton's been picked up and put upside down by David Arvili, but it was while he was in the breakdown. Jake Gordon now goes to Jed Holloway. Harry Johnson Holmes, his first carry since returning to the field also. Now Tane Edmund looked a little bit hesitant. Just getting nailed in the tackle by Cullen Grace. Gordon goes across to Gamble. Normally I'm just a Crusaders hater, says Johnny. Now Tane Edmund almost through. The gap was a little bit wider than the Crusaders probably anticipated in their defence. Big shot coming in from Dom Gardner. Still only 10 metres out from the line for Harry Johnson Holmes and his Waratahs side. Go Crusaders, says Dylan Wood. Low tackle made by George Bell. There's a new advantage, this time against David Harvili for hands in the breakdown. And closer, that is Harry Wilson. Not to be confused, of course, with the Reds number 8. I'll go back for another penalty to the Waratahs. The greatest teams I used to hate comes with a reputation, says 74 Red. 3 in a row now. Do they take the 3? They are still deciding. Jake Gordon's going to say the post is the better option. Brendan Pickerel calling over a couple of the Crusaders players. Yeah. So Brendan Pickerel has just said anything down this end of the field from now on is going to be probably a yellow card. That is a big warning to have after only 29 minutes in a fixture. Like the same, Tony Edmed just needed someone with him there. One has gone over though, making the score 10 points to 16. Doing all right so far, the Tars. They wanted to start quick. I think that's what they've been able to do. You can't really let the Crusaders stay close in a game though, or else that is normally when it will backfire. We will go like this and like that. Now nicely taken by Jed Holloway. 25 metres out from his own line, so they will not be able to kick this one out on the full for Jake Gordon. Well, Harry Johnson-Holmes now has been taken back into his 22. So what does that mean? Does that mean he is allowed to kick this out now, Jake Gordon? I think it is. Tane Edmed now puts this ball into touch. 40 metres out from the line. Talked about Jed Holloway and his defensive line-out steals that he has been able to get consistently throughout the last year's Super Rugby Pacific competition. And he almost got another one. Fergus Lee Warner trying to slap it back. It was a knock-on from the Waratahs. Looks like they're just going to let that one slide. Cullen Grace almost going through via Lanu. Well, good clean out on him by Fletcher Null. Now the switch in play for the Crusaders going back to the right. Haven't been a huge amount of gaps forming in this Waratahs fence so far. Cullen Grace this time. The player who's knocked it on, and now with the counter-attack, Joey Walton boots it downfield and the Crusaders lose about 35 metres. Walton's disappointed as he wanted the 50-22 there. But it's still a very good kick. Oh, taken quickly by the Crusaders, trying to keep it alive. The form of Macca Spring and now Max Jorgensen. He was still actually putting his mouthguard back in at the time that it was taken quickly. Crusaders, they managed to gain maybe about 30 metres in the process by just doing that little adjustment and little play there. Now George Bell lining up another one. I went to Auckland today. Thought I met 2 Cents Rugby. I was a tall, skinny, glasses wearing bloke. Looked like a younger version of 2 Cents. I asked if he was 2 Cents. He said, "No money, sorry, bro." That was one of your better ones, Johnny. And come on, the Tars, I have $10 on you. Gamble responsibly, of course, ladies and gentlemen. When did you back them, Novmum? When they were big? He thought I was asking for money because I asked for 2 cents. Says Marco. And there as well. It's the collaboration that still needs to happen at some point. If I ever end up in Auckland, which hopefully I will at some point, maybe throughout 2024. 34 minutes through, still 16 points to 10. And get a little bit warmer in this room. I mentioned about it earlier on. The reason I had the shirt was because it was one of the more, I guess, cooler shirts in terms of temperature that I owned at $4.20. Oh, so you didn't lock in when they were right at the start, but you must have locked in relatively recently. Going to Auckland on Friday. There's Novmum. Jake Gordon now going to be feeding the ball in for the Waratahs. Looking off to this right-hand side. Tane Edmed, looping play from Gordon. Wraps around the back, gives it out to Noah Guanino-Wasi. Jake Gordon asking for Macca Springer to roll. I think both halfbacks are trying to get those not rolling away penalties. Maybe a little bit too much. Joey Walton with a nice wide cutout pass to Dylan Peach. This is his first run that we've seen of the day. Dom Gardner manages to stop him. Gordon goes back across to Edmed. Now Angus Bell tackle well. Got a rugby is back in Crusaders win by 12. 2024 is going to be an even uglier year for Australian rugby. Says Mark Blue. I think your last prediction was wrong, wasn't it, Mark? That's all right. Oh, going through the Waratahs. 10 metres out from the line. Angus Bell is dragged down. Now Gordon, wide cut out past the Edmed. It's Sever Reese running all over the place trying to cut it off. Now Jake Gordon. Now I'm back across on the outside from Harry Wilson. Inside ball to Joey Walton. 20 metres out from the line. Waratahs putting together 8 phases. If they were to score now, they would actually have a very comfortable lead of 13 points with the conversion. I've been told to play it. Alan Grace couldn't go anywhere in that breakdown. Now Gardner makes the tackle again. Vailanu. Back across to Gamble. Still 20 metres from the line. They haven't really made too many extra strides towards the try line. The last maybe 7 or so phases. Nice flat pop pass up from Gordon. Now recycling quickly. Gets it to Harry Wilson. He's stopped by the Crusaders. And me and my family went for a long walk up a mountain. I took my shoes off because my feet were a bit sore. While barefoot, I saw that 2 cents guy. He said, well, he must have thought I was a poor shoeless street merchant. Says Marco, that's another penalty advantage. And this probably is going to be a yellow card now for the Crusaders. Yes, it is. Who was the number? I think it was Quinton Strange. Dan was watching the stream with the line 3 or 4 seconds of the way. Says Naz Williams. And off they go the boys. Says Dan. So you've been a little bit behind Nazi in that case. But that is actually going to be Dom Gardner, who has been yellow carded for the Crusaders, who are under so much pressure at the moment compared to what they are used to. So Harry Johnson-Home has actually got some sort of injury here. Yeah, Dom Gardner falls in off his feet, looking for that turnover, but wasn't supporting his body weight. It also slowed down the breakdown. I just checked in. It's Wayne Barnes today's ref. He is not, no, it is Brendan Pickerel in charge of this one. 4 minutes remaining of the half and 10 minutes remaining of the yellow card. We have good Nars have done their heaps. Says Marco. I think they have to get it into Ngawanganita-Wasties. As Crusaders forwards look bloody lazy. Says Josh. Clock is back on now. Crusaders at this point do not have to make any subs. They will just play their scrum with 7 men. Now, they have been relatively decent at scrum time. They've been able to force the Waratahs back a couple of times, so perhaps they will be able to just handle the pushing coming from the Tars, although that was a really good early shove from this Waratahs side. They've got the penalty advantage. And now off the back, Langy Gleeson. Oh, he's dropped the ball again. He was right there. I believe they'll go for this scrum again here, the Waratahs. Langy Gleeson, I think he was over the try line and then got forced back into the field of play. Sounds like they're going for the scrum again. Jake Gordon bleeding from his mouth. And new 9 and 10 have miles to go to his Super Rugby level. Well, they're both only 20 years of age. And AAMI, whose name is the hardest to pronounce in 2024. Ooh. There's been a couple that I've had to do a few takes of. Vofi is actually quite tricky, although I'm starting to get the hang of that just because it's quite a tricky one with the tongue in terms of where the tongue needs to be. But yeah, I don't think these two sides have too many tricky names overall. A big scrum this time from the Crusaders. They've been told to play it there. It's going to be a scrum reset. Their Highlanders number 14 winger and their fullback. So you're thinking Timothy Tavatava-Nawai and Jacob Ratamaitabuki Nepkins. And I would agree that they have got some very, very long names. Harry Potter for the Force. Says Naz Williams. Oh. Okay. Commentators are saying that the Waratahs should go for the 3 here rather than trying to force the try. This will use up quite a bit of time, of course. They've been told now, back into it. Was a big yawn. The next live stream, like I mentioned, will be at 4 a.m. New Zealand time. That is the one taking place between the Stormers and the Bulls. Straight after that, pretty much, we are right into the 7. So I will be scheduling all of those live streams as soon as possible, which will more than likely be straight after this stream. Now, ball fed in for Jake Gordon. Oh, it's been kicked out of his hands by Langy Gleeson, but it's still gone backwards. Dane Edmund with the cross kick. And no Wanganetawase was not able to catch up with it. Crusaders now have got themselves the line out. And by the time this one goes in, there'll only be another maybe 30 or so seconds remaining in the half. Should the Tars have taken the 3, is that a crucial error that they have just made? Maybe. And George Bell, though, for the Crusaders. Had to throw this one in. Still 45 seconds remaining. Almost stolen. Now put back Hotham with the hesitation. Havili's done brilliantly, though. You know, Hotham didn't look like he wanted to really kick that one, but instead, great run forward from Macca Springer. Still 30 seconds remaining in this half. Don't think the Crusaders... Oh, that might be a not rolling away. No, they are. Going to now be able to kick this one downfield. Hotham has been told to use it. Oh, Harry Johnson-Holmes has just lost his footing. Hotham puts it into touch. That'll only be about 20 metres out from the line. Hotham struggling at the moment. You can see it as well. Maybe halftime Drummond will make his way onto the field. Might be the best bet for the Crusaders to have a good shot of being able to win this one. You can't expect an Australian to make a logical choice. 3 is the big number, says Mark Blue. Now nicely taken by the Waratahs. Gordon inside. Ball to Edmund. You know what's a bigger number than 3-7, and that's what the Waratahs have just got for their troubles. Harry Wilson at 13 has scored the try. And that's worked out very well for the Waratahs. So maybe it didn't work the first time that they tried it, but it definitely worked that time. And now they'll go into halftime with a lead of 23 points to 10. Noah Hotham possibly a little bit to blame for that one. Not getting a lot of metres on the kick and also putting his team under pressure just out from their own goal line. Dane Edmund goes straight through. Gets it away to Wilson. Yeah, 23 points to 10 up at half time. The Crusaders, at what point do they become underdogs? Right now, that is when. Because they are now sitting at $2 underdogs. Oh no, sorry, it's actually still the Crusaders as favourites. $1.75. Right, keep it up, Tars, says Novmum. And up straight through that rookie 10, says Josh there. So yeah, brilliant run from Tane Edmund. Went straight over the top of Taha Kamara. 13 points. Very good half for the Waratahs. I feel like a lot of people maybe underestimated what they were going to be able to do in this contest, but I feel like the stats don't really lie. In regards to the defenders beaten, they have beaten 9 compared to the Crusaders, who have only defeated the 4. 2 tries apiece. 149 metres gained by the Crusaders compared to the 104 gained by the Waratahs. They've also seen a lot more tackles made by the Crusaders, having to make 82. They've also had that yellow card. I had Saders by 22 in Super Rugby. Well, they're going to need a very big second half, that is for sure. Or else they could find themselves losing by 22. 7 penalties conceded by the Crusaders. They've had the yellow, like I mentioned. There's only been 3 penalties against the Waratahs, but they too have received the yellow card. That was, of course, Harry Johnson-Holmes early on. And the contest and possession stat is in favour of the Waratahs. I mentioned near the start of the game, the way that you beat the Crusaders is you have to try and starve them of possession. The Waratahs haven't done that too badly so far throughout the half. The Evs Razor factor, says Thorfinn, although he is watching the game, to be fair. He's at AAMI Park watching on, deciding who will be the next guy that he wants to call up for the ABs. Waratahs always a bogey team for the Saders, but they're bad tonight, says Josh. So the most running metres we have seen from the Crusaders, It is Macca Springer, 39 metres made, 1 try and 1 defender beaten alongside 1 clean break. For the Waratahs, the most metres made is actually Max Jorgensen. He's had 1 carry for 23 metres. And other than him, 19 is the next most, or 23 in fact, sorry. Oh no, now they've updated it a little bit more. Joey Walton actually now takes over with the most running metres. AB's full of Cantabs now, Says Nars Williams. The tackling stats, Tom Christie has made 7. Tom Christie has made 10. Dom Gardner also making the 10, and David Havili has made the 8. George Bauer, a little bit of a quiet workhorse in the front row, getting a turnover 1, also making the 9 tackles. For the tackling stats of the Tars, there is only one man with more than 5, and that is Charlie Gamble making the 8. Walton's on 5, and Vailanu also has made the 5. So you would think going into the second half, the fresher tide should be the Waratahs. They've made less tackles. They've also had, theoretically, less running metres, but they've had more time on attack. A lot less Cantabs in the ABs now. That Whitelock and Moonga are gone. Says Josh. Yeah, I'm sure we'll still see quite a few Crusaders and the upcoming AB side, mainly because Razor will know them quite well from the Crusaders. He'll know what they are capable of. If Fiaki make any metres, heard his name only once during Reese's try. Yeah, other than that, Jay Fiaki, 15 metres made from 3 carries, beating a defender, which I believe would have almost come at that Sevu Reece try. But yeah, not a huge amount of ball for the Crusaders. Number 15, Sevu Reece. I don't think that man has touched the ball anywhere near enough for the Crusaders. He has had the ball 3 times, making just the 10 metres, but he has scored the try in those 10 metres. Mate, welcome on, Crusaders. This is the Waratahs, who are losing to. Says Moose. Of course, last week we did see the Waratahs defeated. Next week, they've got an exciting contest coming up against none other than the Highlanders. That is going to be on Friday night, and that's at home, which I think might actually heavily benefit the Waratahs. Definitely if they walk away with the win here up against the Crusaders, who do go on to face the Fijian Drua in their next contest. That will be at 2:05 p.m. on Saturday, the 9th of March. There are no Tars by 13. Might not be enough. Good old Crusaders have a history to come back, says Bear Flavel. That is very true. We've seen the Crusaders come back by over 30 points, I believe, up against the Waratahs. So the Waratahs, they'll know that they can't take their foot off the gas pedal. They have to keep on going. Also, looking through at this Crusaders bench, you would have to say, and I don't think many people would argue it, Crusaders have the much better reserves coming into this match. You've got Joe Moody and Owen Franks, huge amount of experience between those two. Quinton McDonald as well, extremely handy player. Christian Leo Willie did fantastically for the Highlanders a couple seasons ago, then went to the Crusaders and continued on that momentum. Mitch Drummond, I wouldn't be surprised if they make that sub at halftime. I don't think Hotham has done too well at all throughout this contest, so I would much rather see Drummond take to the field in the second 40 minutes. Ryan Crotty, Dallas McLeod, there's still plenty left in this Crusaders tank, but it's whether or not one more try would do it. Another Waratahs, it's the Waratahs, says Moose in there. 2 games still to come for this weekend. Chiefs versus Brumbies, that is at 4 p.m. tomorrow, New Zealand time, ladies and gents, and also the Hurricanes taking on the Reds. That is at 6:30 p.m. New Zealand time. We are covering both of those contests alongside the Sevens. Now, the Sevens quarterfinals, I believe, will actually overlap with the Chiefs versus Brumbies matches, but I'm hoping to be able to manage it so that we do have someone doing one of the live streams while I am doing the other. Yeah, I don't think this is a halftime score many anticipated for this contest. A lot of people thought the Crusaders were going to come out in this game and absolutely just fire from pretty much the first whistle, which they did to a certain extent. They scored themselves their first try in only 90 seconds, but it's what happened after that. They weren't able to keep it going. Crotty and Drummond coming on should help the Crusaders. They come back against the Chiefs last week, made me nervous. Says Moose. Yeah, it's one of those ones that it's always tricky when you're going head-to-head with a side like the Crusaders, because you just never know how much is actually needed. We saw it even in the last game between Moana Pacifica and the Fijian Drua. It looked like almost a certainty that the Drua were going to lose that game, and then they scored a couple quick tries, almost got 3 in a row, and then it would have completely changed the outcome of that contest. They're up the Tars, says Marco, and ha, says Richau. And I assume Richau is a Waratahs fan, possibly in that regard. Yeah, they've played a very good half of rugby. Stats in their favour in terms of making less tackles and also having more defenders beating the 9 so far in this contest, scoring just the 2 tries, same as the Crusaders, but those missed kicks of the youngster Taha Kamara as well may come back to bite the Saders the later stages of the game. I don't think we'll be too far away for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. You guys all being here for this matchup. I know Ryan made Glass Grotti, or is it Ryan should have went to the 2019 World Cup? It shouldn't have been Lamape Grotti, says Marco. I mean, the Crusaders were hoping that it's the second one out of those 2 options. But, yeah, definitely a good first half for the Waratahs. Crusaders come back to win against the Tars 28-0 down a few years back. Says 74 Red, exactly right. So, up against the Crusaders, you can never feel comfortable. You can never feel complacent. What is a Waratah? It's something that you bang into the ground, normally in the process of putting up some sort of fencing. Of course, that's a different spelling. An actual Waratah, I'm not sure what it is exactly. And getting close to 50k, man. Says Nars Williams, here we are, slowly creeping towards it. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are back for 2 more streams tomorrow as well. So, be sure to check it out. I think at the moment, second half, probably about 2 minutes away. I was saying, come on the task, how good was the Moana versus Drua game? It was an extremely impressive one, that is for sure. Both sides to back and showing exactly what Pacific Island Rugby can do, which is a lot. They've got some brilliant players coming up through their rankings, and hopefully that does continue in the near future as well. They're just showing the Australian women in the sevens, getting themselves a big win over the Irish. But also we saw the men's side of things. They were able to take down the Kiwis. Waratah is a triple-pronged metal stake. Farmers may use as a post for a wire fence. So you can say the Tars are proving their Waratahs, or prodding their Waratahs, I think that might be, up the Saders' rear ends. And 14 for the draw is a beast with blazing pace and agility. So that is, of course, Celestino Ravatamanda. Almost changed the game for them and almost helped them get the win. One moment. Look at there, Brokeback Mountain stuff. As his name, Ravatamanda. Says Moose, it certainly is, and wouldn't count out the Crusaders. Not over to the Fat Lady Sing, says John Wick. It would be, or will be difficult if the Tars go up to 18 or 20 and up the Saders, says Peter. And there as well. And yeah, that's the thing. If the Waratahs can score, I would say 1 more try, I would almost say that they've done enough to win this game. But the fact that they're only up by, 13, I know it sounds weird to say only up by 13, but 2 converted tries and the Crusaders will be back in this game. So the Waratahs, the last thing that they want to do is slip early in this half and allow them back in. Their emblem is a flower. Just looked it up. And there is a native Australian flower called a Waratah. Well, there you go. You learn something new every day. Moana's forwards went well. Just the defence out wide cost them versus the Highlanders as well. And also Oosh. And Brokeback Mountain features Sam Kane and Foz. Kane's on the receiving end. There's a Marco there as well. One thing that I dislike about the Super Round, and there's a few things, of course, but one big thing is how long halftime takes. They always have about 20-minute lunch breaks or like kind of changeover breaks in Australia compared to about the 15 or so or maybe 15 rather than 10. But it's going to take a little while for them to get back out there, Waratahs, the Flower Boys of Super Rugby, and 13 points sure is weird points to look at, says Peter. Yeah, I don't think people were predicting this score at halftime. Where's our man George? Says Nas Williams. So he is probably watching this game from his house, I would say, unless he has gone to bed early so that he can get up and work tomorrow, which might be a little bit more likely. After this stream is over, ladies and gents, the next one is at 4 a.m. New Zealand time, so we may see a couple of you there. I always thought it was weird that they'd name themselves after fencing equipment, says 74 Red. And if Israel Folau was still playing for the Tahs, the Crusaders would be in more trouble, but still have the faith. Crusaders got this by 4, I say, says Bear. And what was the betting odds for this game at the TAB? Before the match started, Waratahs were $7 underdogs. Now they are sitting $2.20 underdogs, even with a 13-point lead. So, I mean, one of those situations that, like, $2.20 for a side that is leading by 13 is pretty unheard of, but that is because they are going head-to-head with the Crusaders, who are normally known for being able to fire in the moments when it matters, and Dan would be worth a punt on the Tahs, says Mus, the man, the myth, the legendary Israel Folau, says Mako in the chat as well. Of course, if the Crusaders score early, although they are a man down, we've got to remember Dom Gardner going to be off the field for the next maybe 6 minutes maybe. Is Folau fully retired? Nah, he's playing in Japan. Surely he's still got a couple of years in him. That dude's gifted footy player. Or at least I think he's still playing in Japan. I think he was going to give it 1 or 2 more seasons. That's a long halftime. You could almost put on a halftime show, says Lord Raptor. Yeah, they always take a long amount of time for halftime for the games in Australia. Folau playing in Japan, isn't he, says Mus? I believe so. Oh, we're close to the second half, though. I see a KFC bucket, which is always fun. Very close to the second half. And not a recess, but an extra time for lunch, eh? Says Peter. Both sides now out of the tunnels, back onto the field, which is good, because I don't think halftime should be that long. I feel like both sides were probably ready to go. I want to get back out there. Folau will have a super athlete babies, says Marco. Just showing Hugh Sinclair, one of the men who were able to score for the Waratahs. Now only one of 2. The other was Harry Wilson. For the Crusaders, we've seen a try for Sever Reese and also a try for Macca Springer. The whistle is blown, and now it's kicked off long from Kimara. I'm just looking around to see what changes have been made. Looks like Noah Hotham is actually still on the field. It's across to Lengy Gleeson now for the Waratahs. They need to keep this pressure on. And Folau is 34. You wear typical formal shirts and live stream, but this t-shirt is so cool, says Coding. We put up high on the halfway line, nicely taken by Shea Fiaki. Oh, he's taken a bit of a kick to the head, I think. And the process, now Kamara. On across, 2 men cleaning out for the Crusaders, one of which being Cullen Grace. Managed to knock him to the side. We have more momentum going into halftime, says Kano. I would say the Waratahs, with the fact that they were able to score right at the end of that first half. Also with the fact that the Crusaders have a yellow card for another 3.5 minutes. Helps them out massively. Now Noah Hotham again. We'll put the ball up. I go the Waratahs, says Tim Moana. He picked up by Sinclair. So just told to leave it. Oh, it's an advantage for the knock-on, but not actually for a penalty here. Tane Edmund goes across there to Joey Walton. The advantage is now over. Straight down to Macca Springer, who started it all with a try. Now passes out wider. Little chipper behind. Looks like it might be a bit too much juice on it, though. Yes, it is. And they will go back to where the ball was initially kicked. Like I said, the scrum probably the most likely factor, the most likely choice here for this Waratahs team. Okay, they are going for the scrum. There was consideration maybe of a goal line dropout. Decided that that wouldn't be the best idea. And then Pickerel saying you can only take 30 seconds for your scrum now. 100% of the scrums have been won by the Waratahs that they have fed the ball into. The Crusaders have just lost the one that was due to the penalty against George Bell. In fact, it was only a free kick, in fact. Now another penalty goes the way of the Waratahs. Fletcher, no, I should say. He's not too happy about it. Okay, guys and girls, I'm off now. The wife is grabbing on my crocodile. Time to butter her up now. Cheers, Hamish. Much love, brother. Well, enjoy your night, Johnny. Sounds like you're going to, though. And yeah, hopefully all goes well. I think Crusaders can win this, Hamish. No sitting on the fence, mate. Do I think they can? With the way that they've played in the first half, I would say no. But have they got the ability to? Yes. And when they make these subs, that's going to be very telling in this one. So I actually still gave you a bit of a split decision. It's going to be knocked on by George Bell, though. Another mistake made by the Crusaders. Nice shirt, says Octo Dad. Thank you very much, mate. And I'll be there later as Mark go. Laughing there from Kano. Okay, finished now. 10 seconds of thunder. Nah, JK, bye, guys. So here's Marco. We'll see you later on. Didn't have to do him like that. Says Binks to John Wick. Just talking to Marshall, one of the coaches for the Crusaders, and he's saying we need to get our discipline right. You try and take out a few of the errors. Good on you, Hamish. Says Peter. Now ball about to be fed in again for the Waratahs. Okay, Gordon, that's a big push from the Crusaders. Ooh, that was close to a scrum penalty in their favour. And there's no hope for the Crusaders. There's Lexarm on. That's what they want you to think. But that's actually currently what a lot of people do think. See, Riley has made his way onto the field. That is for Dylan Peach for the Tars. Push, push, push over. There's a beat there. Come on, the Crusaders. Beat the New South Wales Potpourri. Not sure what that means. And how's the Melbourne crowd? They've got some people in attendance, which I guess is the main thing. It's not a sellout, which it should be when the Super Round has taken place. But yeah, there's plenty of empty seats. Now taking him a ball on the outside. Goes now to Jorgensen. Get some space to be able to run at that one. Che Fiaki went for the turnover and the breakdown, and he landed straight on the top of his head. Joey Walton now going to Angus Bell. Big fend on Scott Barrett. Some people, says Peter. Yeah, they haven't worked out how to sell out AAMI Park. Oh, no, it's quite bad now in the ends I've just seen. What makes you say that's what they want us to think? Says the Black Arm on. Well, because the Crusaders so many times have come back into games. Tars wasted too much time on scrums and lineouts during the Sinbin time. Says Jonathan, yeah, and Crusaders are now back to 15, and that is going to be the penalty against Charlie Gamble. He looks confused, but then saying that when he's looking for the turnover when he's on his knee, doesn't work too well, unfortunately. I think Vailanu, the man who's been penalised for hands in the ruck there. Mixture of dry, naturally fragrant plant like dry flowers. There you go. You know, that hand was down from Charlie Gamble. Okay, them, says Peter. Hold them out, Tars says Nov Mum. It's going to be thrown in, no, not taken cleanly. It's going to be, I thought, knocked on by the Waratahs. Counter ruck there from the Crusaders. That'll be sealing off, I believe. No, in fact, they're going to get the scrum. And Mitch Drummond has made his way onto the field. I thought that may be an early change that they try and make. Keep your hands out the ruck, man, says Kano. Now, 33 minutes remain, I agree with you. That was when they still had Razor as a coach. Says Lexamon, although the good news is they've still got the mentality. And yes, it may not look like it now because of some of the mistakes that we're seeing early on in this game, but like some of these guys that have been at the Crusaders for years and years, they just developed that mentality of wanting to win and not giving up. And I'll be honest, with the stop-start of this game, I think that heavily benefits the Waratahs. It'd be worth a punt on the Tars going 13 plus, bro. Paying $7.50 at the moment. That is quite large, isn't it? Crusaders are actually $1.30 favourites, even though the Tars are up by 13. But big run forward, Levi Amua trying to change that, the number 13 for the Crusaders. Round the side, Sevu Reese. He will score the try. The Crusaders now back in. How much time left to play? 32 minutes. So plenty of time left for the Crusaders. Crusaders taking a beating? Never. We all know the Crusaders are the beast. Says Helen Howe. And yes, says Peter. The try. Now the Waratahs are $3.50 underdogs in this contest, ladies and gents. It's going to be tricky. Even the Waratahs to win by 11 to 20 is paying $15 at the moment. Well done, the Satyrs, says Lord Rapture. And also, bah, says Novmum. Just got an on 19. Crusaders lucky, says Bhavani. And also kicking also, it hasn't been spectacular for Crusaders tonight. As you said, you have to make the conversions for the Crusaders fans. That kick has gone over this time from Kamara, though. They'll make the score 17 points to 23. They're only down by 6 now, the Crusaders. Sevu Reese, 14 tries from his last 14 games up against Australian opposition. It's a pretty impressive stat, but he's already scored 2 tries in this game. We've seen a hat-trick already this weekend with Hoskins Atutu, who's the Satyrs' first 5. It is the youngster Taha Kamara, 20 years of age. But because of injuries, it means that he is actually, I guess you could almost say, the first choice for them at the moment. Here comes Sevu Reese again. 23 metres out from their line. I think I might have to take back my words. Says Lexar Moen. Like I said, that's what they want you to think, but they will try their best. Get back into it. And second half normally is when we see that gas tank of the Crusaders working that little bit harder. Nicely taken, though, a bit of a rough kick from Mitch Drummond. Sevu, says Peter there. Ball's available again for Jack Gordon. Taking him an inside ball. Joey Walton jumping into the challenge. Dom Gardner has got the turnover in the breakdown. Now, he's already got a yellow card, so it is a bit risky going in there, but he takes the risk and gets the reward. Macca Springer now, driving his legs 45 metres out from their own try line, the Crusaders. Now Drummond, Havili with the flat ball to Bauer. Right. Aggressive tackle by Angus Bell. Drummond again. Go off to the right-hand side, Levi Amua. Across Dom Gardner. Back. Oh yeah. Charged down. Well, it's called as a knock-on. I think it was charged down and then knocked on by Fergus Lee Warner there. Oh, the back is just cracked big time. 29 minutes left now. Crusaders scrum, says Jonathan Manson. I've said just a little bit unlucky. Were you expecting the Rebels to win last night? No, I thought that they would get beaten, but they did very well in that game. To go from not scoring any tries last week to scoring like that 7 or 8 or whatever they got in that game was a very good improvement. And hopefully they can continue it next week. They're up against Moana Pacifica. That is actually the opening game of Super Rugby Round 3. Looks like a lovely evening. The ground in Melbourne. Still 2 games remaining. Are you back feeling the tension as well? I think it is a little bit, but it's also a very hard wooden chair. So that probably is it too. I've got there, who do you prefer as an All Blacks inside centre between Havili, Barrett, Anton Lienert-Brown and Quinn? What's your reason? I would currently pick Geordie Barrett just because I think that he's done a very good job for the All Blacks there over the last maybe 12 to 24 months. Quinn Tupai, I really like the look of when he was getting the chances, but unfortunately that injury did leave him out for a long time. It's gone down in the front row. Crusaders get themselves another penalty, ladies and gents. Waratahs $3.20 underdogs as we currently sit. Another try for the Crusaders could change this game drastically. Hamish, I'm high, says try time down under. Well, what have you climbed up, Amelia? Do let me know. Good morning, just woke up, says Stuart Moore. Yeah, I think it was Angus Bell on that near side with Fletcher Null. I mentioned we have got streams all throughout the night. Stuart as well with the URC taking place at 4 a.m. Also going to be covering the sevens. So be sure to give that a look as well. So Quinton Strength, a mountain, says a try time down under. Well, good job. Why are you climbing a mountain at night? I got head spins, man. Levi Moore, 45 from my vape. You got to remember to breathe as well, you know. We have got there, Hamish, love your shirt. It matches my tablecloth. You look like a pimp, need a gold chain. I don't think I've got a gold chain. I've just seen the only thing that's remotely like a chain that I've got nearby. It's a silver chain, right? It's not really silver, but down the bottom, mini harmonica. That doesn't make me much of a pimp, I wouldn't say. Unfortunately. Don't ask why I bought that. It wasn't a good investment. Who do you prefer on scrum half between Roigard, Perenara and Christie, and what's your reason? Oh, I'd say Roigard out of those three, just because I think he's a lot better. And he also has that attacking mindset. Perenara probably second out of those three, and then Christie I'd probably have third. But after all the stuff today, I'm just going to enjoy my vape. Well, try not to suck on it too hard, or else you will get head spins, I assume. It's going out into touch. Little grubber in behind. Attempted by the Crusaders. I just play something on the moniker. I can't. It's only got little holes. It's got four. These four little tiny holes. My mouth's too big for the holes. G'day, Scott. Scott's just donated $20. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. 10 metres out from their own line now, the Waratahs. After the line out is successful, they will now have possession. Tane Edmund back in the pocket, kicks it downfield towards the halfway line, taken just inside of Crusaders territory. Macca Springer stepping through one, gets taken down by Ned Hannigan. Try something. There's Beds of Blaze. That's what she said, says Gano. And also in touch with, so it was 10 metres out from the Waratahs line. Now Macca Springer again thought about the grubber this time, but gets nailed in the tackle by Mark Nawanga Nedawasi. Yeah, hugely appreciated, Scott, for your donation. And that big fish, of course, just makes me want to go fishing. Now, a nice step from David Arvilli, straight into the hands of Jake Gordon, though. Gives away the interception. Now Kamara has to try and shut him down. He's being dropped. And now inside ball, Mark Nawanga Nedawasi, I should say. Tell you what, David Arvilli's had a right bad game here. It's going to be the cross kick. There are two Waratahs players waiting for it, and they score it in the corner. And that'll give them the lead by a bigger margin once again. God damn it, Arvilli. So he's given away a charge down try, and now he's given away a interception try for David Arvilli. Have you got the world's smallest violin to go with? Sadly not. But maybe it needs to be added to the collection. Up the task, says Xavier. Come on, says says Kano. And also jelly beans, says Robert. The cross kick straight into the hands of the winger Tristan Riley. World's smallest violin really needs an audience. Says try time down under. Okay, I'm no longer taking back my words. And intercept Havili strikes again. He's useless, says Josh. And Waratahs says Spinks. So now, the odds have the Waratahs as favourites. Crusaders $2.90 underdogs. Real back and forth at the moment. Still 25 minutes remaining. I think the sooner they take Havili off the field now, probably the better for the Crusaders, which does sound really bad because Havili, he should be better. He's just not doing it. Kick. Mid has been able to get the conversion as well, making the score 30 points to 17. Crusaders have actually ended up with a yellow card in the process. No, they haven't. That's a lie. Surely I think they've put up Dom Gardner's yellow card from earlier, because or else then that would be wrong. They might have 14. When did a player go off? Was it while I was playing with that harmonica? Havili having a shocker. This is interesting what's going on, says Helen Howe. Well, the Crusaders are not firing. And everyone like Catalans versus Leeds later today. Matches in Leeds. Leeds is favoured by 1.5. Think Catalans will win. Anyone agree? Says Jonathan. They've decided to bring on Owen Franks. That is to replace the starting three. Is Reece playing? He is. He scored 2 tries and he's hardly touched the ball. Play us a song on your harmonica. Request Sweet Child of Mine. That doesn't sound like an easy song to play on a mini harmonica with 4 holes. What a good try, says Stuart Moore. Yeah, they just took their chance. Oh, Owen Franks was told that he was able to go for that ball, and now it's been stolen by George Bell. Much needed ball. Now in the hands of the Crusaders. They are passing out wide. Dom Gardner. Couple more metres. Ned Hannikin looking for the turnover. Drummond trying to milk the penalty like an annoying halfback he is. Havili probably holds the record for most interception passes given, says Josh. It's going to be slapped back onto the side of the Crusaders. Good hands from the big man there. And the big young man. And Jamie Hanna. Now Havili go on, throw it to one of the Waratahs. Havili currently sitting only 40 metres out from their own line. Has Hooper made his 7th debut yet? I believe he is supposed to make his debut. He might have made his debut for Australia earlier on. I'll just have a quick look at round 1 of the 7s. Because they did beat New Zealand. Oh, Nwanganetawasi on the halfway line. Show some good footwork. The lineups had... no Michael Hooper. So if he is, he wasn't playing. So, unfortunately, I think they're leaving him out again. Play your harmonica every time there is a plunder resulting in a try, bro. That'll be hilarious, says Bear. Reece or Will Jordan, who you going with? Reece at the moment, because Will Jordan, I don't think, can walk or can't really move too well after his surgery. So, yeah, in a foot race, you go Reece every day of the week. But in the normal scenario, I'll probably go Will Jordan. All right, Ryan Crotty back out there. He will be a welcome change in that midfield. You've got to take Havili off, don't you? I would leave Levi and Moore out there. Time is off. We will turn you into a TikTok meme. How good's DuPont? DuPont has 7. I mean, his first 7s competition, I thought he was all right. I don't think he lit the world on fire, to be honest, but I feel like that's just something that will take time in terms of learning how to play 7s rather than union. But he is going to be a threat in the future games and has helped in already what was quite a strong French team. Stephen Perez-Martin, I think, has been very strong for a while. Ryan Crotty having his first carry back in a Crusaders kit. Still 20 minutes not over yet. Exactly right. Christian Leo Willie now. Tackle well. Waratahs discipline has to be on point here. Can't afford to give away any penalties. Good driving tackle. Oh, the ball's been ripped. No, it hasn't. They're going to say it was a knock on from George Bell. Sits on the halfway line. Dallas McLeod, another sub that they did make. They could actually change both of their midfield if they wanted to. And I think that's what they did. Got the George and the Hamish emojis from Kano there. Now another knock on from the Crusaders. Oh, come on, what's going on? Crusaders. And RIP Crusaders says Pops edits. At the moment, she's sitting a bit one-sided between these two sides. Waratahs to win this game by 13 plus. Well, Waratahs to win by 11 to 20 is paying $3.80. Now, before like 10 minutes ago, that was paying $15. So anyone who's been back in the TARS is probably going to get some good money back if they can pull this off. A big RIP Crusader, says Reeves. And there as well. Just talking about the players that the Waratahs are missing. Sevens helped Adi Sabia play better in 15s, the best team in the South Island. Says Zion. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I think after this game, I believe the Crusaders will still be sitting outside of that top 8. Of course, the Highlanders sitting in 5th at the moment. That will change as the weekend rolls on, though, depending on who else gets themselves the victories. But then saying that, like, best team in the South Island probably is due to the fact that they've won so many Super Rugby titles compared to everyone else in the South Island. A new packs now. 13-point lead at the moment for the TARS. So if they get a penalty, I think that if they're a little bit closer, the temptation might be there to go for the 3 points rather than going for the 7. May, how much do you think a 24 or 30 megapixel camera goes for? I don't actually know, to be honest. Like, I know I do YouTube, but I have no idea about equipment, being completely honest. Like, I got my PC because it had a green light, and I was like, that looks cool. I'll get that. I turned it off. Painful watching the Crusaders performance, says Josh. And something is not right in the Crusaders camp. Regroup, boys, is not over yet. And as long as Razor carries the All Blacks to that World Cup, I'm happy, says Reeves. I turned off halfway through the first, says Reeves. Another scrum feed for the Waratahs. Jake Gordon puts the ball in. They have to use it quickly, and it is Mark Nawanga Nidawasi. Tries to chip it in behind. Oh, Havili's still on the field. That is a bold call from the Crusaders. He has been able to take the mark inside of his own 22. Right, this one needs to find touch from Havili. Let's see if he can do that. Yes. Does get the ball into touch, 45 meters out from the Crusaders try line. I just talked about the fact that Teni Alatupo was dropping swear words in his interview yesterday. Angus Bell said that he will behave himself, although out there on the field he was certainly doing extremely well. And tell you what, we're going to see another line break. Oh, knock on there. Dallas McLeod kicks it downfield. Tane Edmund in a foot race with Sever Reese. And Edmund gets back to force it. Reese is saying it's taken back. Dallas McLeod is saying it's taken back. We're about to find out if it was. That charge down try, I was sad. And I'm really getting a ribbing tonight. Says Nas Williams. They've had to go the full length for the field there. Crusaders inside 10 metres, better score here, says Jonathan. Unless, of course, this wasn't taken back, in which case it would be a... Oh, yes, it was. So it is a 5 metre scrum now for the Crusaders. Once again, the game's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. The Crusaders are a side that enjoy the pressure, enjoy keeping games close to the final moments. Little mistake from Langy Gleeson. He's actually dropped the ball more than anyone else today, unfortunately for him. And someone like the channel lads and lessers help the brother grow, says Bear. And Crusaders fans be like, says Kano. Well, Reese moves. Tell you what though, Edmund's got some pace on him, because most people in a foot race with Sevu Reece, you'd say Reece wins it, but Edmund kept up with him. He's still taking some deep breaths. I'm saying that as a Crusaders fan. I don't really like the Crusaders. Like I'm from halfway in between Canterbury and Otago, pretty much, smack bang in the middle. But like, I'm just saying, the Crusaders, you can't let them stay in a game, or else you get yourself in trouble. I'm a Blues fan, but it's painful. Says Josh. That was the best and worst time hot seat interview of all time, says Cabbage Patchy. It almost went from him calling a try for the Waratahs to him calling a try for the Crusaders. Reece wanting that black shirt. And also, we all forgetting to hit that like button, says Robert in there. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure, of course, to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. David Arvili, I feel like he needs a try just to redeem himself a little bit here. And come on, Saders, skip pass. Havili and score in the corner. Reihana did a better job last week. Yeah, I think Reihana definitely going to be an option for the Crusaders in the future. And don't get me wrong, like Tahana in this game, Taha Kamara, like he's been okay. I think that Hotham let him down a little bit in that first half. Seems like it's got a little bit stronger ever since we saw that change made of a Mitch Drummond. Now 5 metres out from the line, the Crusaders. It's gone down in the front row. Once again, going to be their scrum feed. I think they want to reposition the scrum. So good watching the Crusaders getting pumped, says Porto. Although if they score now, they're going to be within 7. If they get the conversion, that is. So I feel like the Waratahs, with 16 minutes remaining, I still feel that they need another try. And if they can do that, I think that they will be able to win this game. But if we see a try scored now by the Crusaders, this game's not over. Some would even say the Crusaders in the later stages of this contest will be the freshest side. They had experience off the bench. They've got Moody as well as Owen Franks at scrum time. So penalty advantage could come thick and fast. I've been told to play it though. Reece losing a foot race to the 10. Now a nice crash run forward from Dallas McLeod. Can't believe URC is still going, and we are going to be covering at 4 a.m, ladies and gentlemen, between the Bulls and the Stormers. But the Crusaders closing in on the try line. Only 3 metres out. Drummond with the flat ball. Rush defence on Jamie Hanna. Drummond goes to Tom Christie. Pop pass. Havili's dropped the ball again. The bloke should have gone off. And he has had a game that only nightmares. Probably the word to describe it. And Sharks vs Lions stream, we are only going to be doing Bulls versus Stormers. Just because I will probably be editing up until that one, unfortunately. Now Macca Springer going forward. And defend. Oh, it's another knock on from the Crusaders. Stolen by Jake Gordon. And that will be the try. Havili can't get the ankle tap. And that is another one for the Waratahs. That should now do it, ladies and gentlemen. So bad, bruh. Come on, Havili. And Tars Blues are not those dumb Auckland Blues. Crusaders aren't being themselves right now. Havili has not had a good game. And I think Tane Edmund almost was in tears already. I think that's because he's realised how far he's had to run in this game. A beautiful time, Birds. Says Cabbage Patch. And no way I missed the ankle tap, lol, says Naz Williams. An historic win, says Porto. We were able to beat them in Australia not too long ago, the Waratahs, and now they've done it again. Now, really good job, says Pads Ablaze. But I can't believe that the Crusaders have 2 centres as replacements off the bench, and neither of them replaced a man who was responsible for the kick down or the charge down try, who was also responsible for an interception that he threw. I've never said I'm a Crusaders fan, have I? Says Sphinx. No, I don't think so. Havili bugged it, brother. Well done, the Tars. Havili's teammates shouting no beers after this game. Says Naz Williams. Now the Crusaders would need 3 tries in the last 13 minutes. Send Havili back to club rugby. Says Josh. Crusaders came in expecting an easy win. See, that's a record hiding. That kick is good from Tane Edmund again. I can't be too mad. I only need Seven Reese to score, says Reeves. But now 20 points difference, which would mean Crusaders don't only need the win, or don't only need tries, sorry, they need 3 converted tries. This could get ugly here. Tars could get 60 to 70. I don't think they will. I think that if they get one more try, it will probably be about as high as their scoring will go. If either Crusaders fans need to have an emotional roller coaster this year, I want them to have highs and lows. Joe Moody now crashing the ball up. Drummond looking to the short side. Crusaders want any chance they need to score before 70 minutes. Missing the offense of Will Jordan. So here's Neville Singh, a new Crusaders coach. Shouldn't be big time. So here's Josh, and I called it. When I said Crusaders have no hope. Says the Black Samoa rush defence there from the Waratahs is effective for Ned Hannigan. Havili catches the ball. That's a good start. Now, nice white cutout pass. White cutout pass is what I tried to say. Seven Reese, chip and chase. He's going to win the foot race this time, but he does get tackled by 3 Waratahs players. And there was a knock on, I believe. No, there wasn't. I thought I hit Seven Reese's hand, but it's going to be the try for the Crusaders. They'll have to check this. I don't think there was any sort of clear grounding. I thought Seven Reese actually knocked that one on. This is not a team of the past. There are too many new faces. See, it's Andrew. That's what happens when you're at the top for long. You can't stay on top forever, unfortunately. A great chip and chase from Seven Reese. Oh, I think he's got a hand to that. Commentators are saying that Seven Reese just got a hand to it. I thought it was the case from the get-go, that he might have just narrowly touched that ball. I want to check a potential knock-on. They were pretty quick to give that try to the Crusaders. Well, we will go like this. So, chip and chase. Richie Mo'unga absence is very noticeable. Although, to be fair, for the Crusaders, like Mo'unga, world class, of course. Next guy down, I think, is also injured. Guy after that is also injured. And then you've got this young 20-year-old in there. So, like, there's always going to be a massive... Okay, there was no foul play by Blue, which means it's going to be a knock-on from Seven Reese. It's going to be called as no try, time to pass the torch. And also we have got there, they need a Havili redemption arc. And wow, I want to see Reese in the black jersey ASAP, says Katzenel. And also, no try would be consistent with everything else today. And I think the Satyrs can throw 15-metre 4 passes in the grand finals and get away with it, says Porto. And 9 and 10, the spine of the team. It's got 2 rookies running the show. Yeah, 2 20-year-olds. So, like, yeah. It's always going to be tricky. Like, you're never going to get the ball out as efficiently as they have in the past. And that's not making excuses. I think that they've been poor today. They've had a lot of handling errors, given away a lot of early penalties, which led to that yellow card being received by Dom Gardner for repeat infringements. And the Waratahs have just been more hungry. They've been more aggressive and clinical. At the moment, they're almost sitting with a bonus point if it continues this way. If Tars win by 13 plus, I will win $102, says Novmum. So 13 or more, or it has to be more than 13. That's going to be the penalty there to the Crusaders, only a few metres out from the line. My Super Rugby is taking a hiding today. And Havili does bad stuff every game he's in. Remember that stinky he threw in the France game? Bro's a liability, says Josh. Now David Havili, he's going to be kicking this one for the corner. 5 metres out, the Crusaders looking for another try now. Is that 102 New Zealand? There's about $5 Australian, says Porto. Now, big throw here for McDonald, I should say. Nicely taken by the Crusaders and well met by a Waratahs defence. Jed Holloway trying to get through the middle, grabbing jerseys, trying to rip it away. They were told to use it. Quinton McDonald, I believe they've gone through the middle there, the Waratahs. They're trying to shut him down, and that ball's going to be stolen by the Tahs. They will get themselves another scrum here. Havili is not 20. He's made a lot more costly mistakes, says Kano. And Simonines finally, says Jonathan. Crusaders will run it close. They just have that drive in them, says Porter. Although a mistake like that can cost you massively. Just Ned Hannigan going through alongside Jed Holloway. The rolling ball for the Crusaders have looked nowhere near as dominant as it normally would. Crusaders, well, maybe not this bunch, says Josh. 10 minutes remaining, though. I believe the best case scenario for the Tahs is either a penalty one here at scrum time or just kicking it as far downfield as possible. For the Crusaders needing a lot more meters. As annoying as it is to admit, the Crusaders just have this ability to keep kicking on. It's so annoying because your team can be up by 20, still come back and win. Oh, they've decided to run it out here, the Crusaders. Oh, sorry, the Waratahs. It's not going to be the Crusaders' season. There's Bifta. That one is kicked into touch by Taney. Great kick downfield. Blues Chiefs final, says Josh. Take away Moonga and Robinson. The Crusaders don't look like themselves, says Cabbage Patch. Although the problem that they've got is they've taken away a lot more than just those two. They've also lost Lester Whaiananuku. They haven't got Will Jordan at the moment, so a lot of backs are out for the Crusaders. Few new signings that are also injured, such as Lee Halfpenny. There's going to be a long 8 minutes. Taken nicely by Christian Leo Willie. Now looping around. It has Quinton McDonald running forward as Ryan Crotty. And up to 22. Meader's out. Whitelock on. Another good point. Now out wide. Che Fiaki. I haven't seen that man for like 30 minutes. The Reds are true firepower. It's why the Reds' greatest Super Rugby team ever. From Queensland, says Porto. It's going to be a long season for the Crusaders. Nice looping play. In behind to Levi Amua. Advantage for offside. The penalty does go the way of the Crusaders. Ethan Blackadder, another guy that they haven't got. And of course, the Waratahs are missing their own fair share of players as well that we should mention. Dave Parecki for one. Taking the quick dab now. Passing it out. Quinton McDonald goes across to Jamie Hanna. It's available. Christian Leo Willie skips him. Goes off now to the Crusaders. Number 6 flat. Pass out to Ryan Crotty. He gets close to the try line. Drummond now short side to Barrett, who reaches out but can't get the try. Another offside advantage. The Tahs may end up with a man in the bin very soon here. Christian Leo Willie has scored the try for the Crusaders. And they are now, I know it sounds bad to say and almost a little bit ironic, but they're back in it. And what does the actual clock look like at the moment? It is 72 minutes and 40 seconds. I'd say Crusaders have had their day. Highlanders fan, says Zion. And what a pass, says Porto. Yeah, brilliant flat one from Mitch Drummond. Slams that ball down. Going to show it 15 times. Is it a knock on? Is it one dynamic? Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Oh, Christian Leo Willie, hold on. Crotty's back in the side. Nice. Says Cabbage Patch, he certainly is. Havili almost misses from straight out in front, but the kick has gone over, and they actually need every kick to be able to win from here. They haven't got Taylor, Goodhue, Whitelock, Blackadder, Whaiananuku, and Moonga, says the Black Samoan. But now, I can tell you what they do have. They've got 7 minutes to try and score 2 converted tries. And at worst, 1 try converted so that they can be within the 7, so that they do walk away with at least a bonus point here. About 27 points to 13. I wonder, do the Tahs have one more in them? Changed the odds quite a bit. And Whaiananuku thought, because he won Super Rugby, he had completed rugby in New Zealand, went offshore way too soon. Says Josh, although he made it extremely clear, his intentions have always been to try and make money playing rugby to provide for his family. So he saw the opportunity to be able to make a lot of money overseas, so he took that on. And, I mean, fair play to him for knowing what he wants. It also meant that he was willing to give up the chance to play for the All Blacks if it meant that he was able to get a few more dollars in the short career that he might end up having. Dallas McLeod's gone for the chip and chase, and it's only stopped Barrett chasing, and he's managed to get back up to his feet. Crusaders have this ball on the halfway line. Joey Walton knocks it on. Now Drummond with the skip pass. Goes to Christian Leo Willie. Che Fiaki, ball on the outside to Tom Christie. Still 6 minutes remaining, and it's another advantage for the Crusaders. Big run forward from Jamie Hanna. He's been strong. So it's coming off the bench. Drummond, you've got advantage, says Brendan Pickerel, just to let them know. Ryan Crotty almost going through again. He's looking like he's got some quick stepping feet since returning for the Crusaders. Big shot coming in on Dom Gardner. Bites nails, says Novmum. Now back across Jay Fiaki. They've missed the pass, but they do still have the corner as an option here for the Crusaders. They are coming, says Panzer Blaze, although I have a bad feeling about this because it's going to be David Harvili who has to kick this one towards the corner, and we know that he has not had the best game, so this one could go straight dead. And also we have got there, every time the Satyrs lose, the other team has their best game of the season. That's what it takes to beat them Satyrs. Right, about 15 metres out from the line now. Where was this in the last 70 minutes? Yeah, they've left it a little bit too late, you'd have to say, for the Crusaders. And I mean, they've got 5 minutes remaining, so there's still time, but there's just not really much. Nicely taken, Crusaders this time with the rolling ball. They decide against a short ball to Dom Gardner. Crusaders now close to the line, almost dropped by Mitch Drummond. Jamie Hanna, they've tried to call it as a rolling ball. They do have to leave it though. Back across to Christian Leo Willie. Handling has to be impeccable for the Crusaders, and the discipline of the Waratahs has to be on point. Drummond back across to Dom Gardner. He just keeps on going. He's got a very good motor on him. Back across again to Jamie Hanna, who's a little bit the same. Bring back Scott, says Stewart. Few metres out, Scott Barrett. He's dropped that ball. It's a knock on there. Just short of the line. Scott Barrett not able to get it out. And it's a bobble from Barrett. Now the Tars can take a little bit longer here. Leo really looks an awesome player. He'll be great in the NRL. Says Porto. Yeah, just fumbling it as he thought about stretching out. That was Tane Edmed who caused the error. Definitely is having a massive performance from the Tars. We've got to remember he was one of the reasons that they scored their early try. Now 3.5 minutes remaining. They'll try and use up as much of the time as they can. And the George emojis there from Kano. How many penalties does it take before you get carded? Says Porto. We're talking for the Crusaders or for the Waratahs? Because they have been yellow carded both of these sides. Been quite a few penalty advantages against the Tars though in the last 15 minutes. Tars have been cheating constantly the past 10 to 12 minutes. Says Porto. And quite a lot of players, including the coach. Says Levesque Samoan there. Now scrum feed. This will be a massive time to win a scrum for the Waratahs. Even better if they get the penalty. Looks like a sub is about to be made. That looks like Daniel Bota. Or in fact, he might have come off for an HIA. Which means that Harry Johnson-Holmes, who has already got a yellow card, has to make his way back out onto the field. That's a risk that's laid on in a contest. Big push from the Crusaders now. Tane Edmed kicks it downfield. Wasn't a lot of pressure on him. And he's got it down to about 30 or so metres out. Is Harvili still on? He is. They have two centres off the bench and they use both of them without Harvili being a substitute. So I believe they took Macca Springer off. Looks like the Crusaders have actually decided to take this one quickly and almost cost them the ball. Mitch Drummond goes across to Christian Leo Willie. They're trying to drown the Waratahs with pressure. The Tars have handled it pretty well so far. Another big crash forward from Dom Gardner. He gets back to his feet to protect the ball. Oh, that's a bad one from the Waratahs. Offside in the breakdown. That has to be a yellow, doesn't it? I think that's what Drummond's saying. That was pretty bad from Charlie Gamble. We might see a replay here. I think he just slapped the arm at Drummond to stop him from playing the ball and slow it down. Where's Will Jordan, says Portico. He is injured. He just recently had surgery. Kicking up for the touchline for David Harvili. 2 minutes remaining if the not the Waratahs. If the Crusaders want to get themselves a chance at the bonus point, they need to score now. Charlie Gamble living up to his name there. That was risky. Yeah, that was something that if it had gone wrong, which it kind of did, but the ref said, nah, we're all right. If it had gone worse, he was probably going to end up with the yellow card. Ned Hannigan straight off his feet. Feel like that's going to be the tactic here for the Tars. Try and give away the penalty advantage, perhaps, just to use up a little bit more time. They do have to release him. Drummond goes back across to Dom Gardner. Been a real standout. Now back across. David Arveli. The last thing the Tars want to do, though, is give away a penalty try. And Sugary for a broken heart. And then try and steal it in the overtime. Oh, Gleeson. Is he allowed that? No. He has lost that ball. Now he's almost clotheslined Mitch Drummond. Macca Springer. Wait, he's still on. So who did they take off? Because Che Fiaki is still out there. Reese is still out there. Oh, they took off the young number 10. So I'm saying Arveli Amish going to have nightmares tonight. But now 1 minute remaining on the clock. The Crusaders passing it out their backline. Dallas McLeod. 50 seconds remaining. Offside for Gamble. Do they get the penalty advantage here? The Crusaders, they do not. Now they've got the penalty advantage for being offside. Severin Reese trying to go straight through. Gets back up to his feet. Finds the offload. Inside ball to Barrett. And another one to Drummond. They are now only straight out in front of the post. The Waratahs have been told to leave it. It's a penalty. They'll go back for the original one. Ball thrown away by Gordon. Strategic there from the Tars. And it might have almost bought enough time to survive here. 15 seconds remaining. You can see the frustration from the Crusaders. They're kicking for the corner again. They're going to be 5 meters out. They cannot win this game, but they can walk away with 1 point. Maybe Crusaders will come back. They now can't. Very good veteran instinct and awareness from Jake Gordon, knowing that if he threw that one away, the quick tap was off the table. Oh, he's hesitated. The throw has not been taken by Quinton McDonald. You're not allowed to pop pass or the little half pump. And because of that, it means that the Crusaders have given up their last chance. And that is Dirty throwing the ball away. If it's going to buy you time, that is exactly what they're going to do, though. And that is the win now for the Waratahs. 37 points to 24. Wait, what's going on here? An absolute joker, says Porto, and GG, says Lord. I think the best way of describing that is the Waratahs were strong throughout the 80 minutes. The Crusaders left it too late to try and get back into the contest. And just a couple crucial handling errors at the end did end up costing them. But the Waratahs, what a performance in the away game. Well, the home away from home game for the Waratahs here. Crusaders sitting 0 from 2 for their first 2 contests. Not the way that they wanted to start their season. And never mind, he will learn and grow from this, says Porto. Yeah, a few players definitely didn't quite step up for the Crusaders. In the end, though, Waratahs side, we saw a huge amount of Jake Gordon in this match. He had multiple line breaks. I thought Joey Walton at 12 was impressive. Probably one of the more quiet games for Mark Nawang and Nitawasi, to be honest. Harry Wilson on the outside, I thought he was actually pretty good as well. Well done, Tars. Do good, brother Hamish. Have a good one, bro. Choo. And Arveli to be sent back to under 10s. And also, I called it when I said the Crusaders have no hope. Says the Black Samoan there. And also, of all the Aussie teams to do it, it's the Tars couldn't write it. Says Cabbage Patch. But yeah, they now move themselves up in the table points. They will have a total of, I think it will be now their first 4. Yeah, they haven't received a point up until this game. And their points differential will go up to -5, which currently on the table will put them into the top 8. And we have got there, damn it. I don't look into a mirror tonight. Say Harveli 3 times because he might come and get you tonight, says a Lord Rapture. And there as well. And why are the Aussie girl reporters hot and the New Zealand are hideous and ugly? I couldn't tell you. And also we have got there, Harveli to be signed for the Tars, says Josh. And there as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. The next live stream that we have got is at 4 a.m. New Zealand time. And that will be the matchup taking place between the Bulls and the Stormers. We've also got 7s all throughout tomorrow. So be sure to keep an eye on that too. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next ones, including 2 games of Super Rugby tomorrow. Chiefs versus Brumbies and Hurricanes versus the Reds.